If only Spider-Man could go back in time and prevent Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2 from ever happening. This is my review of Days of Future Past. Sorry for the delay in this. I didn't get a chance to see it over the summer, but I saw it now, so I'm going to review it. So, again, if anyone's curious, here it is. So, as always, there's going to be links to written reviews in the description, although I might just put the written review for X-Men Days of Future Past in there, and you could just look around for the others, because there's how many X-Men films are there? 1, 2, 3, the 2 over. This is their 7th film. Jeez, this franchise has been going on for 14 years. I'm not putting all 7 down, but I will So if you just go onto my website and just search them, you can probably find them. If you're having trouble finding them, sorry about that. If you're having trouble finding them, just let me know and I'll put them back on there. But anyway, real quick, I'm just going to sum up how I feel about the X-Men films. I have read a bit of the comics, not as much as I would have liked. I should read more because they're really good. I've read the Phoenix Saga. I've read the Days of Future Past comic book that this entire film is based on. And yeah, so first two I enjoy. I'm still back and forth as to whether or not I enjoy the second one more than the first one, but I nonetheless enjoy them. The third one I didn't like for the exact same reasons that everyone else does. Lot of stuff crammed in. I won't get into it. Same thing with X-Men Origins Wolverine. I don't like that film either for the same reasons everyone else does. First Class I enjoyed, although the ending didn't really kind of make any sense. But it was fun. It was the first X-Men film since 2 that I found entertaining. The Wolverine was alright. It was fun, and it was a better Wolverine movie than the one we got in 2009, but at the end of the day, it just was dumb action. Hang on, let me just bring up real quick what I wrote for the Wolverine. It was really pointless. There was some substance in the beginning, but again, at the end of the day, it just felt really pointless. This entire film was just killing time until this movie. So, how was this movie? This movie that they were just killing time for in the Wolverine and setting up here. It was entertaining. I don't think this is an amazing superhero movie, or this is my new favorite superhero movie. But my favorite superhero movie from this year so far is Guardians of the Galaxy. I've yet to see Big Hero 6. But I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, how ambitious it was. This film was trying to do so much. You have all these different plot lines, all these different characters, all these different relationships. And yeah, the fact that it was able to just balance and juggle everything the way it was as good as it was able to, I think is impressive. And again, I could go on complaining about how complicated everything is, but it all felt necessary. For what they were trying to do, everything felt necessary. It wasn't like Spider-Man 3 where I'm like, there's way too much going on, you need to save some of the SCDs for later movie. No, everything felt necessary and was all balanced well. And not only that, but it all tied together really well. I still not too big on the whole really complex superhero movie where I have to sit down and pay attention on, because this film is a commitment. You really need to sit down and pay attention. But again, the fact that everything was just balanced out so well, I think is impressive. And again, Bryan Singer, he said he's really good at working with ensemble cast, and he really is. And the cast of this movie is really good. I enjoy all the characters. Wolverine's still awesome. He's still the main character in this movie, even though, yeah, it's an X-Men film. But he's not the only thing. Again, there's a lot of relationships in this movie as well. The main ones that are interesting are the ones between Xavier and Magneto, and also their relationship with Mystique. All of that's really interesting. And it's all well acted. I do feel like some characters come around to certain things a little too quickly or a little too conveniently, but it was still dang, at the same time, it would have been frustrating just having to sit through that whole denial phase. And I do like seeing where all the characters are at. I mean, the film does this really ingenious thing where it's set 10 years after the last movie, which means we don't have to, which means we're just sort of thrown into this new world. Now, on one end, that means we have a lot of catching up to do as an audience. But on the other end, it also just makes us as close as Wolverine. Wolverine's the character who needs to get caught up on where everyone is, just like we are. And it was really interesting to see where everyone was at. See a really broken down Xavier, to see, Mystique played wonderfully by Jennifer Lawrence. Getting to that point where she's starting to become the Rebecca Romijn Mystique. And a lot of the New Mutants were pretty cool. I mean, the ones in the future, while they really didn't do all that much, and they were just sort of there as, fan service and support. Again, they were entertaining. I would have liked to get to know them a bit more, but there was a lot going on. It was very clear this movie was more centered on the old cast than the new one. The only mutant I wish had more to do, and given how much he was played up, especially on the DVD cover, which I have right here, was Quicksilver. He's on the cover right there. Yet he's not in the movie that much. He shows up, he's in there for, the beginning during this, really fun prison break scene. That was, probably my favorite action scene in the movie. It was this fun heist movie, and Quicksilver made it so much fun. He has this fun, energetic personality, always joking, and the scene where he slows down time and is running around the kitchen was fucking amazing. I wish there was more of him in the movie, although it could have just, again, there was a lot going on, and maybe the filmmakers didn't realize how awesome Quicksilver was, but if they did, I'm sure it'll turn up in the sequel. Although, with all that said, now I'm really curious, what is Marvel going to do with their Quicksilver? Because Fox went first, and they gave a really cool Quicksilver, so you kind of have to wonder, I mean, because Fox even said, we got to go first. We got our Quicksilver. So now everyone's going to be, at least everyone who saw Days of Future Past, myself included, is now going to be comparing Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver to the new one, which, I mean, I don't want to get too bogged down in this, but I feel like the Quicksilver in Avengers 2 is going to be a bit more involved in the story. Whereas than this Quicksilver, the Quicksilver in Days of Future Past was. But I think this Quicksilver was more entertaining, based on what we've seen. Who knows? Maybe Quicksilver will be amazing in Avengers 2. Visually, the film looks great. I mean, Bryan Singer's come a long way since the first one in regards to action. Everything's well shot, well directed. The effects are really good. And the action scenes are really fun. Although the climax was kind of a little generic, it was a little grounded, but more grounded than something like Captain America. But at the same time, it still was a little too big and loud. Again, my favorite action scene was the prison break, which was so much fun. And it does also rehash certain characters. What it boils down to is Magneto doing what he does in every other X-Men film. We have a government versus mutant problem. And again, this is a really complex story that you need to commit yourself to, but it was fun. It was entertaining. This is one of the better X-Men films. It's not my favorite. My favorites are still one of the first two. I'm still figuring out which. But it was still fun, still entertaining, continued the story of X-Men, and also, I don't want to ruin it in case someone hasn't seen it, but there's something at the ending that'll make you very happy. I don't want to ruin too much, but let's just say there's something that happens at the ending that will make certain people very happy. And if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, those are my thoughts. My written review, once it's complete, will be up. And yeah, so comment as to what you thought. And as always, dislike, comment, subscribe. This is JStar360 signing out.